Now that we have understood how variable works, let's now proceed by making decisions. So in PHP, there are two conditional statements that you can use. The first one is the if-else statement, and the second one is the switch statement. So for this lesson, let's just focus about if-else statement. Now, conditional statements are one of the most important parts of a program. In fact, it is very helpful that all applications are using it to create great applications. Now let's head over to our index.php and let's just get rid of everything that we have written in the last video except the int variable. And then below this int variable, we'll just create an if statement followed by open and close parentheses and open and close curly braces. I'll say something more about these curly braces, but for now, let's just focus inside of our parentheses. So inside of these parentheses is where you will be creating your conditions. Now, conditional statements can only accept Boolean values like true or false. So for example, we type in here the variable int and then equal sign and then 10. Now, this is not going to work because we're just using an assignment operator. Assignment operators are used to write values to variables. So in order for that to work, we will have to use a different operator, which is comparison operator. Now, there are a lot of comparison operators out there that you can use for conditional statements, but the most commonly used are the is equal to, is identical to, is not equal to, is greater than or equal to, is less than, and lastly, is less than or equal to. Now, let's go back to VS Code. Actually, let me just close this. We don't need that anymore. And here, we'll just add another equal sign. Now you can read it as if int variable is equal to 10. Then what happened is inside of its curly braces is the output that you want to render or what result you want to display. So if it's true, which it is because int is equal to 10, then we can actually type in here another echo statement and we can just say that the int variable is indeed equal to 10. And then we can just close that with semicolon and save that. And if we open our front end and if we refresh this, as you can see, it says the int variable is indeed equal to 10. Now, what if the int variable is not equal to 10? Well, that's where if-else statement comes in. So if we change our value, so if we go back to our VS Code and change the value of int variable to let's say 9, if we save this and open our front end once again, if we refresh this, as you can see, we don't have an output anymore because int variable is not equal to 10. So if we add an else statement over here, which we can, so let's just type else and open and close curly braces. And inside of this is the output. So since this is false now, everything will just go inside the else statement. So we can just actually copy this and paste it right over here. And we can just replace the output with something like the int variable is not equal to 10 anymore. And if we save this and open our front end, we will have the following output. Now it says the int variable is not equal to 10 anymore. Now I mentioned earlier that I have something to say about the curly braces, but personally I think it's best to always put curly braces for your conditional statements, but if you feel lazy, you can actually get rid of the curly braces and just leave it like so. Actually, I'll just leave, there you go. You can actually do something like this. But honestly, the reason why you can actually do it like this is because this is just one line. So if you take a closer look, see, it's just one line. You end it with semicolon. This is actually going to work. And if I open the front end, as you can see, it displays the same thing. But if we go back to VS Code and add another line, let's say I press enter over here and indent that, and I copy this, and if I paste it below, and I save this, as you can see, it gave me an error because else statement can't find the if anymore because it ended right over here and it followed with another echo statement. And now the else statement is looking for the if statement, which is not above him. So yeah, it's not going to work anymore. So you always need to create curly braces, especially if you have two lines of code for your if result or condition. And if I save this, as you can see, now it works. But yeah, just keep the curly braces. That way you know exactly where it starts and where it ends.